Next, we will be looking at how to use a structure in practice. We know how to describe one and how to tell the compiler what data needs to be stored. But we haven't given compiler instructions on how to declare and define it in the memory. Once a new structure has been described, its instances can be created in the following two ways. The first style is similar to the declaration of variable of built-in type, whereas the second style is applicable to the declaration of structure type variables only. Let us discuss them one by one. The instances of the newly described data type can be created in the usual way, except for a minor change. If we want to declare a variable of type student, we need to qualify the declaration with struct keyword. In this statement, the keyword struct indicates the upcoming declaration pertains to a user-defined structure type. It is followed by the name of the user-defined data type, which is structure in our case. The identifier oneStudent plays the same role as user identifiers do. In the addition to this, declaration of a structure type variable is also possible during the stage of describing the structure. You can see this from the syntax at the screen right now. Note here how oneStudent is appended at the end of the description statement. This informs the compiler that there would be future references of the identifier oneStudent of student type. You are not limited to just one single declaration. There can be as many declarations as necessary. Just remember to write them comma separated and terminated with a semicolon. Like built-in variables, structure variables can also be initialized while declaring them. There are two styles for initialization of a structure variable. In the first approach, the structure variable is initialized after the structure description. In the second approach, the structure variable is initialized during the stage of structure description itself. Let us see them one by one. This is how we initialize the structure variable after the structure has been described. We need to notice the preceding structure keyword. We should also notice that the initializer elements need to be written within curly parentheses. Structure variables can also be created and initialized just after you have finished describing them by using identifiers before the end of the structure as shown in the code. You need to follow some rules while writing your own initializer statements. The order of initializer statement is essential. The data type of initializer statement should match with the data type of structure field. In the case of mismatch, the compiler will force implicit typecasting, leading to unexpected result. Take for example, in this case, we will be storing 12.8 in an integer type, which could cause an implicit typecasting and store the affected value of 12, or where the string Mayank will be converted into an integer and stored. Operations on this number would result in unexpected behavior. If the initializer elements for all the structure field are not provided, the compiler assigns default values in place of missing initializer elements. In this example, while executing the last statement, the compiler will assign student name as Shashi, student roll number will be assigned 0, student subject name will be assigned null, and marks will be assigned 0. From this example, it can be hypothesized that the default values for pointers, integer types and floating types are null, 0 and 0.0 respectively. So far, we have discussed the usage of a structure and how to declare, define and initialize them. In the next section, we will see how to access and modify the contents of the structure type variables.